Alright, so hi out there in the YouTube land, it's me again, the Puzzle Master, and today's video I'm going to be talking about Pisces, and essentially how to deal with the Pisces character and their nature. And in order to understand a sign, you really have to break it down into its base components, and then amalgamate or assemble all of those components together into a whole, and that's going to give you an overall of what the sign is like. But remember, everyone is also a mix of every sign. So, and even breaking this component down into its constituent parts. Everyone's chart is so complicated, you can't judge someone just by one sign. You really have to look at the whole. But if we are to try to define a bit and piece of the whole, astrological wheel, then Pisces, when we're talking about what it is made out of, well, first of all, it's a water sign. And there's earth, air, fire, water. Well, by water, what does that define Pisces as being? They tend to be very emotional, very emotionally based. And this doesn't mean that they're every human being on the planet has emotion. It just means that this sign is going to express themselves a little more on the emotional, intimate kind of level. A little more touchy-feely, that type of individual. But at the same time, we have to remember that Pisces is really, really known for its evasiveness, not wanting to address things, and they do not like to be cornered in situations. So with that, we also want to look at the symbology of their sign, which is two fishes swimming in opposite directions, which typically have kind of the dualistic relationship that other signs have this as well, but they're all expressed in a bit of a different way. When it comes to Pisces, with the two fish swimming in opposite directions, there is the good boy complex, and then there's a bad boy complex. And the Pisces that you interact with on a day-to-day basis is more of the net effect of both of them coming together, or the average, however you want to think of that. They're also, because they are the final of the 12 signs, they do have past life experiences from all of the other signs, or you could think of it as they have attributes of all the other signs. In a lot of the books, Pisces is one of the hardest signs to really truly define as unique on its own, but they are really, really renowned for that evasiveness, which is, if you think of the symbolism of the fish. Well, if you try to catch a fish, slips out of your hands. And the harder you try, the harder you squeeze, the more it's going to want to slip away. These people really, really hate to be cornered in situations and put on the spot. That's not their forte. They're not a Leo. They don't like to be center of attention. However, their ruling planets, mainly Jupiter, but secondarily, they have Neptune as their ruler. Normally Jupiter, in most historical books, Jupiter is the ruling planet, but with the near discovery of Neptune and the qualities that were designated to be attributed to the god of Neptune and with the planet, those attributes were given to Pisces for the reasoning that they have similar attributes. Now, Jupiter is all about luck and expansion, increasing awareness, but at the same time can have a bit of a juvenile tendency, childlike, not caring, not serious. And this Jupiter element can actually make them prone to, as I said, with evasiveness and avoiding issues. That can actually lead to things with alcoholism, being an alcoholic or drug addict. And I'm not judging by any means by saying that. I'm being realistic in saying that a lot of people who have this sign will relate with what I'm saying. Or if you're watching this on how to deal with one of them, that's a part of them, and don't try to change them. If you're watching this video and you were I hated that about them, and then you see this, that's a part of them. And the more that you try to force change on them, everyone is a unique, different kind of flower. And if someone's a tulip or someone's a daisy, you don't force your own willpower to try to make them like you. As much as that might feel right, it's not. You need to let all of creation and all of its expressions express themselves how they want to. And don't if you can like help them express themselves, then do so. But don't try to hinder their development. Like let them grow. And as I said, they have that evasive tendency, so they will avoid issues. They don't like confrontation. And having Neptune, well, what is the Neptune energy associated with all that bring in? Well, Neptune is the god of the ocean. So I even have the ocean playing in the background. And that's because there is a serenity. There's like a knowing. It's one of the most intuitive of the 12 signs. And it has an ability to see the other side, much like the other signs don't have. Like it has gifts in spiritual abilities. And with that, as I said, Pisces has the duality. So they're also able to see the light and the dark in all situations. And they struggle between choosing their life path because they aren't one fish. They're always two. And they always struggle with that duality. And because they are highly spiritual, they want to achieve the highest possible spiritual route, which would be like heaven or like the highest spiritual realm, if you want to think of it that way. Versus like Sheol or the like abyss of hell, which are all mental constructions, which we have created, which really just represent good and bad in our minds. And they have that duality built in them. Now, Neptune also rules over romance. So like, being in a restaurant with like lit candles and the mood is set just right, maybe a violin playing in the background. That romantic feeling is very much Neptune. So Pisces has that built in them, where they have that kind of in their aura. Now, how to deal with them is know that just because that's a part of them doesn't mean that that is them. And so like don't be making exceptions to things and like letting things slide, like their evasiveness, just because they're all romantic-y. Like, you know what I mean? Like you have to cut things, sometimes just cut things and let it be. Like they also have a tendency to, as I said, with the fish being like the harder you try to grab onto one, the more it will slip away, is that they can be very like, as the not wanting to be cornered element, they're very empathetic. So at the same time, they kind of pick up on your feelings, and kind of like a chameleon, and in no way do I mean this negatively, I just mean like a chameleon tends to mirror its surroundings, while they tend to be like the company that they keep. Now, that doesn't mean that they're liars, because I always used to say that Pisces is like the liar of the zodiac. And it's not that they're liars, because in the situation, they feel that way, because they are mirroring your energies, and they're just being true in that moment, which is all they can do. And if moments change, then, and situations, energies, then so do they, because they are one of the most sensitive and empathic of all of the 12 signs. So, yeah, they do have that bit of wishy-washy nature, being the fish. Like, they can't really make up their mind about their good boy, bad boy complex. But know that it's also on how to deal with the Pisces. It's not up to you to make that decision for them. That's their life path. And everyone has their own life path, which is unique and different to every single person. And is based upon, not like the area that we grew up in. TV, culture, friends, family, our parents, like all of these things play very vital, important roles. And all of ours are right. So there's no need to really argue amongst ourselves. Like we're all just expressions of what can be. And Pisces really understands that, of all of the 12 signs, like being always connected, like having, like to explain to them that there's like some kind of spiritual nature. They're going to be like, yeah, I know. Like, that's most Pisces people already know. Like, they live every day as if it was that. So, yeah. Mwah. And thank you for watching. I hope you found this video informative. And let me know in the comments below what you thought about my Pisces summary and how to deal with them. And the only way that I can get better at this is knowing your feedback. And if I said things that seemed wrong, there can be things in the chart that can counter or change things, because we're not just one sign, like I said. So you should look at someone's whole chart if you're actually trying to like break it down and like analyze the components of it. You can't just base someone off one sign. But thank you for watching, and mwah, I'll see you in future videos.